when you're buying jewelry, you bring a ring in to get appraised, you bring a watch in to get appraised, you have to pay the person to appraise it to verify that it's accurate, right? What really bothers me, and I'm curious if you could shed light on your recent experience on this, is if that appraiser said this costs $50, right, to review this.
Uh-huh.
They review it, they appraise it, they're like, wow, this is actually a rare Rolex that, one of a kind.
Uh-huh.
I know I initially charged you $50, but this is actually a rare one. No, this one, I got to charge you $1,000 because this one's worth more. To me, that feels like the most. I've said this before. I've said this because this is before we had PSA, SGC as a sponsor. Freudian slip there. Now you know who I'm talking about. It felt like theft. It felt like because the value of my card is more, because the value of my asset is more, you're now charging me more for the exact same service. It felt incredibly unethical. And I haven't seen a single precedent in neighboring kind of industries, similar industries and collectibles and all that stuff, where this is a precedent and this is actually allowed. But somehow we allow this, and this just happened to you. And then it becomes a huge conflict of interest where we had the conversation, which was a few people. Lenhart said this. It was one of his favorite episodes where we talked about value versus comps. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What is even truly the value? So how do they derive what something is worth? Do they just go on eBay, go sold listings? Do they go to Card Ladder? Do they go to Market Movers? Do they go to Card Hedger? Who do they go to establish what maybe a Kamavinga, just off the top of my head, card would be?
There's a reason why I posted my thing in just the group and not on my page, but I guess I'm going to have to post that picture on the page now. But so here's the thing. I'll take the opposite side. I don't think there's any conflict of interest. And I think that, the upcharge in and of itself is because there are cost categories that are established. And I think PSA wants to make sure that they are tranching cards by value. So if you have a card that's got a value, you shouldn't be able to get it graded as a bulk economy value card. Like that is only cards that are worth up to $499. You should not be able to sneak that card in there because they want to make sure that they are giving you different service levels for your card based on the value of the card. Same thing an appraiser would tell you is, all right, yes, you have jewelry. If you bring in a gold chain worth, or a watch worth $1,000, we'll do that and we'll turn it around for you in a month. But if it's worth between $1,000 and $2,000, you're going to get our, B-level service, and we'll get that turned around for you within 2 weeks.
And then if it's worth more higher pay, understand?
Correct. So more experience, maybe it gets another look, maybe, and more importantly, it is on a different grading track. It's on a different appraisal track, right? So where it gets a little interesting, right, on the upcharging is I understand that, and I understand they want it in the right hands, they want it in the right eyes. The argument is if it's worth more, you're paying more, you should be paying more from the get-go because at least what I say is it should be fast-tracked. It should get better analysis. It should be blah, blah, blah. If it's just the speed of it, then the upcharge doesn't make any sense. Because if you're putting it in the value sub, it's going to be as slow as can be anyway. Like you don't get it rushed by putting it in a bulk type of sub, right? The upcharge is only if you've tried to now put a card in that by some measurement is worth more than the max value for that grading thing. And then I guess the argument could be that maybe once that is identified, it's removed from that group of value cards, and it's now taken to a more senior level person. It's getting a more trained eyeball. If it's an appraiser to use your jewelry thing, it's going to get somebody else to really give it the old scrutiny and the whole deal. And because of that, the service level has to be charged is more. I don't call it a conflict. The math that goes behind it is interesting, but it's no different than what a lot of companies here have to do, especially in a new asset class like cards. I mean, I made an offer for an item on Rally. I'll just throw the name out. I made an offer for an item, and I made an offer significantly higher than what the going price was, and I was told, we know it's higher than what the trading price is, but you have to come up because it's less than what the market value is for the price, which to me begs the question, well, how can what it's trading at be so much lower than what you're calling like a fair market value? It's the same type of analysis. And guys, just to throw it out there, I'll post it. And I didn't want to post it because I don't know what the answer is, and it's a very difficult situation, right? Because some cards that PSA grades are very low pop. Pop 1 when they get graded, maybe pop 2 now, which is what happens. It's pretty interesting. But I had a recent PSA sub, but I mentioned this where I had 2 cards upcharged. One of them was a PSA 8, all right, and one of them was a PSA 10. The PSA 8 is a Tomy scratch 1997 unscratched Charizard that came in a pack that was given to me by Yamwax. Thank you, Yam. You're the man. Love you. And I got an 8. Now I think
Yam pay the upcharge?
Yam does not pay the upcharge. I'd pay the upcharge. And also I opened up some I think it was Topps Finest. I got a couple Kamavinga cards. I got like a pink, a green, and an orange. The orange is out of 25. It's number 25 of 25. And I got a PSA 10 on that. And I don't know how many of them there were. I don't know, but there were definitely like not too many on eBay. And, there's no real comps on it because they don't really, don't really come up that often. I've seen what raw ones sell for. But anyway, I put both of those cards in with other cards, with a whole bunch of other cards. I think 20, only 19 got graded back in beginning of April, logged in April 15th. By the middle of June, I was advised that I had 2 cards to be upcharged, these. And they were upcharged, double upcharged is what I'm going to call it, because there's a $50 fee for, I think, up to $4.99. Then there's a $100 fee for up to $14.99. And then there's a $150 fee for $14.99 to $24.99. So I was told I had $100 each upcharge on both of those cards, meaning that by PSA's standards, those cards should sell for between $14.99 and $24.99. Now,
in SGC, in a PSA, in a PSA slab.
In the slab, yes.
Even though their charges, they're up to $299, up to $1,000, are based on raw cards. Prices.
I don't know that they're based on raw price. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that it's based on a raw price. I always try to put in a value on what I think a PSA 9 would go for, because I'm never going to assume that I'm getting 10s, especially in today's day and age. And that's why I thought those cards in PSA 9 were definitely under that $599 number, under that $500 number. I'm not saying that they're going to sell. And I also want to, very, very interesting here, okay? Because this happened to me before. I talk about it with Mbappe, right? And the upcharge on the Mbappe cards, I literally had them graded at the exact height. And by the time I got them back, I can upcharge on 9s, right? This was the first time I ever got an upcharge on an 8. But I got them back, and by the time I got them back in the mail, they had dropped 30% in price, and the upcharges made no more sense. But here's the flip side, and I'll get to the final point on that. I am not complaining about this. I'm not. I personally will not ask for a refund. I personally do not care about this. It is something that we're bringing to the fore because other people have. I guarantee that during the course of the last couple of years, while PSA held my cards, right, I got back cards from them that sold for more money than what the grading group should be. So when it's all on balance, right, I guarantee that I paid value prices for cards that I sold for more than what the value max is, that $4.99. I'm sure when it on balance that there are cards that I should have been upcharged on that I wasn't. Probably way more than just these couple that stand out that I am upcharged on.